Back here on this week's edition of the Locker Room Report, as always, joined by Coach Winters. I'm Brady Beedon. Coach, you played a good team in Wisconsin lacrosse. You got out to an early lead, and then they were able to fight their way back. When you looked over the film and able to kind of digest everything now that you've had a little bit of time, what did you see in that film, and what happened as the game went on?
Well, I think that they were, I hate to say who I thought they were, but they were a good football team. They were fundamentally sound. They played hard, and they never quit. I think that we just really struggled in the second and fourth quarters, and I don't have an answer for why that happened. I know the wind was against us, but it wasn't that big a deal.
Through the first 3 weeks, I think there have been position groups that have taken turns being really good. I thought there were position groups that have taken a step back, and you haven't had consistently great play from anyone. What would you say right now is the strength of this football team?
Kendall Williams, Hadi Jawad. We've done some things extremely well, but not consistently, like you said. Kendall probably has been the most consistent person on the team.
And you mentioned Hadi Jawad. I thought your special teams, especially when you are kicking off and punting, have been really strong. Your kickoff return has made some nice plays. That is one spot where I think you can take a couple bright spots. Is the special teams have been pretty solid through 3 weeks.
Yeah, they have. I think we had one hiccup at the beginning of the season where we missed tackles on the inside the 20-yard line. But we're getting deep kicks, high kicks, good hang time, and Hadi's been awesome. And that makes a difference for us.
How nice is it as a coach to have a kicker that puts the ball where you want it, when you want it? It's one of those things I don't think you really realize how valuable it is till you lose it and you don't have that luxury. How nice is it to have a couple kickers that have been pretty good so far?
It really makes a huge difference. You go back a couple years, just last year, the first game of the year, if we had kicked it as well as we kick it this year, we'd have won that game. So, it makes a difference, and we're very proud of what those guys are doing for us.
Let's talk about the opponent you have coming in. Grand Valley, again, longtime rival, number 2 in the country. What's the attitude like coming in? Because it's also the first of 2 games. You don't get that too often where you get to see it. You're seeing a team twice in a season. So just overall, what's the feel like for a rival coming into town?
I think it's great. I think probably what we need at this point is to play someone that we're somewhat familiar with, but we know that we have to give great effort to beat or to compete with. And I think having a rivalry just makes it just better for the players.
Grand Valley, obviously, as I said, a really good team. The coach is pulling. Everyone thinks they're one of the best teams in the country. When you look at the film and you watch Grand Valley, what makes them so tough? Why are people so high on them, and why have they gotten big wins early?
Well, I think that they're a good football team. They're a well-coached football team. Their kids play hard, and they play with great confidence. I think that's probably the biggest thing they've got going for them. They're a very confident football team. They have a heck of a quarterback and good skill guys. They have a really nice defensive front and a good secondary. They have the total package.
You talk about confidence, and this game a year ago, for about 20-25 minutes, you guys were playing blow for blow with them, and then the wheels fell off the cart and it went south quickly. How important is it to get a good start and have a good start and keep the kids' confidence up early as the game goes on?
You know what? I'm not sold on the good start. I'm sold on responding to whatever they do. Like you said, we had a good start and we were in good position, and then we started making mistakes in that second quarter, just like we did last week. So, if we can get out to whatever kind of lead, or even if we're down by a touchdown, I want our kids to just keep playing no matter what happens.
Final question for you with Grand Valley coming in. You're going to have more players than Kendall Williams step up. Who are some guys you'd like to see that maybe have shown flashes at times this year, but you need them to be that flash for 60 minutes on Saturday night?
Well, I think we're counting on Josh Kolka to step up. He's our quarterback. He's our leader on the offense. He needs to to have a good game for us. Myron Harris, who, he's an all-conference player for us last year. He needs to be an all-conference player for us this year. From a defensive standpoint, same with Julius Wilkerson. We need Julius Wilkerson to play the way he can play. And so you go down the line, there's a lot of guys that we think are really pretty good. Charles Ellington, Drake Reed, Matt Bushman has done an excellent job for us, and he's
really
also
good
stood
linebacker.
out. And Elijah Folks has stood out. So we've had some guys stand out, and I probably didn't mention them early, but I think the guys that have had a history of successful play, they need to step up.
I lied. I'll have one more quick follow-up question. How do you get the when you see the flashes? How do you get it from being just a flash to consistent play? Is that a mental thing, or is that something you have to do physically wise, or is it just a case-by-case basis?
I take a baseball bat and hit him in the back of the head. No, it's just repetition. You try to push them as hard as you can in practice so that they get in the game and the game's easier. But it's confidence and repetition.
Well, Coach, good luck Saturday night against Grand Valley. We'll all be cheering for you. He's head coach Paul Winters. I'm Brady Beedon, and you're listening to WDTK The Patriot.